to Dallas Auto Diag. We got ourselves a 2020 Chevy Equinox. Customer complaint, check engine light. I visited this car before, and there was a code. It was a shutter performance. The owner had replaced the engine control module. Hold on. He replaced, let me put before he replaced the engine control module, he replaced the shutter twice. He replaced, only God knows what else. He told me, I forgot. But he replaced those components and nothing fixed it. And then he heard about me, and he gave me a call, and I came here. I looked at it. His problem was easy to diagnose. You see that shutter? The car had a front end collision, so that shutter was sitting, this black bracket was not here, and that shutter was sitting behind the reinforcement bar between the condenser and the reinforcement bar. So when it was opening and closing, and in auto, if you go to special function, you have a you can operate this. So when it was opening and closing, it was getting stuck between the condenser and the reinforcement. Of course, I did this after checking the what was it? It was a ground 5-volt, I believe, and the other one is a LIN 10-volt difference. It was 1 to 11, and everything was good with the electric. So that's what he did. He took it back to the body shop. They put a new reinforcement bar, and they bought this bracket which was missing, and they put it to the front. Now it's moving freely. Everything is good. Now our code today, I figured to mention that just in case you have the same problem. But our code today, so he called me back when the check engine light popped, and we have a engine power reduced message. We have two codes: intake air pressure measurement system, multiple sensor not possible. This is passed and failed, not requested. But we have P0236 turbocharger boost sensor performance. This is requested, so this is the one that requesting the check engine light to be eliminated. We have to deal with this one and reset everything, give him the car to drive it. Let's put up the wiring diagram related to this and see if there's any description about this code. Okay, I collected some information I want to share with you guys. So here it says turbocharger boost sensor performance, our code. And here in this table we can see that our code right here, short to ground, we either have short to ground, we either have open in the, we're talking about the 5-volt, we either have short to ground, open will trigger that code, short voltage, or signal performance. And I want to stress on that, the reason why, you guys remember, which car was it? It was the Chevy Malibu video that I did. In that video I mentioned that I was dealing with the Equinox, and I think it had the same code. And the crazy thing to fix that car was the car also had a front end collision, and they changed the turbo radiator, the small one in the bottom. But that one, when they bought it, the place where the sensor sits, that was closed from the manufacturer, whatever company made those, the aftermarket company. So the fix was just basically to drill it, and that's it. I think I haven't pulled any live data on this car, but I wanted to see what the information on the laptop. Here also we have the signal wire, which is short to ground, high resistance, or short to voltage. Same thing. Low reference So we either have problem in the 5-volt or the signal. The low reference, actually, yes, we do open or high resistance right here. And next, this is the diagram. This is the power trim schematic, and this is the sensor right here. It has 3: white, red, white, yellow, and yellow, white. And one of them is ground, one of them is 5-volt reference, and the other one is the signal. Next, I want to show you guys this is the sensor located on the front left. And when I go back to the diagram and I look at the sensor, I see the 5-volt and the ground is shared with the other sensors, and since I don't have any other codes, only one, so it's shared with more than one. And since I have only one code, so I thought it might be the signal wire is bad. So when something wrong with the signal wire, or the sensor itself, we'll never know. But my theory is it might be something has to do with the accident. And since there was a lot of work recently in the front for that bumper to come out and do the shutter, this and that, so I see X104, and somebody might left this disconnected. This is my theory. If this is X104 is disconnected, we might have a code, because it's going to be open in all the lines. Now, as I said, this is the sensor. This is X104, also coolant fan harness to forward lamp harness, outside of the vehicle, left front of engine compartment, left of the radiator. So it should be there next to the sensor, and this is how it looked like. It has 12 pins, 12 cavity, a harness. So let's go under the vehicle, or before we go under the vehicle, actually, let's draw our base line here by going to live data. The key is on, and let's see if we get any. Okay, I think it might be here. Boost, nothing. Let's go back. Automatic transmission, CKP, PTO, electric and mobilizer engine. Let's try engine coolant. Engine boost. Okay, boost pressure sensor right here. Okay, and here in the description also, circuit description. Boost pressure less than 7.3 psi or greater than 16.7 psi. Engine off, ignition on, engine off, right here. So what do we have? Between 7 and 16. Boost pressure sensor. This is the boost pressure sensor. Boost pressure sensor, we have 14.3, which is good. I know this from that experience with the other Equinox and the Chevy Malibu. Brake boost pressure sensor. No, this is brake boost pressure sensor. Why did I pull this one? Boost pressure sensor 14.3. So the sensor should be working now. How about when I put a key on? I mean, when I start the car. And when I hit the gas. Okay. And here it says map sensor, barometric pressure sensor less than 1.6 psi, and turbocharger pressure sensor map sensor greater than 1.6. The turbocharger pressure sensor barometric pressure sensor greater than 1.6 psi. Ignition on, engine off. This is our code. It's working now. Why do we have the code requested? Is it possible that it's intermittent? Verify that you don't have P0641651, 697, 683, 6D2 is not set. If it is set, it might be something else. What's the other code we have? P00C7, intake air pressure measurement system. Well, that's related to this one, I think. This one is caused by this one. This ignition cycle passed, no requested. Let me do a couple of starts. Fault scan. Pause. It says history passed and failed passed. Last test passed. This ignition cycle passed. No status requested. Okay, let's key on it because the sensor is working now. This is performance. Quick erase. Quick erase again. Okay, pass no fault now. Check engine light went away. Let's do a couple of times. Rev it. Okay, on a pause, exit out of here and auto scan again. Pass no fault. Exit out of here, auto scan again. Pass no fault. It's weird. We definitely don't have that. We definitely don't have that harness disconnected, and we kind of knew from the reading of the sensor. So what's the other theory? Intermittent. Why? I think at this point I'm gonna clear everything, give the car to the customer, see if it happened. If it does, then we will come back for it. Let me just make sure. I floored it. Pass no fault. Again. Okay, I want to check engine manifold absolute pressure sensor engine. Map sensor. Mass airflow temperature. Okay, and go back here, do boost. Method flow sensor, map sensor. Let's do key on. Okay, so right here it says boost pressure sensor out of range, or boost pressure sensor less than, we checked that already. Boost pressure sensor 14.3, which is good. Between 7 and 16. And in the other case it was 18, I remember now. Map sensor, barometric pressure sensor less than 1.6, and turbocharger boost sensor, map sensor greater than 1.6, and turbocharger boost pressure sensor greater than 1.6. This is not clear to me, to be honest with you guys. Yeah, it's working. Okay, so I did a wiggle test with the owner. I showed him what was going on, and I noticed that that X104 behind it, there was some wiring repair. That's why I did a wiggle test. I also noticed the connector for the sensor itself, it wasn't locked. You know, that red little red lock, it wasn't locked. So I locked it, and I'm going to test drive it, bring the speed over 60, see if check engine light will come on, or if we will have any change in the boost sensor value. I think the threshold for this is 17.4 and 7 on idle, on key on, sorry, key on. I think it was a minimum 7 and maximum 17.4. Okay, so got to 50. Let's do it one more time on a less traffic street. How about now, please? Ah, it's yellow. Oh my god. I cannot win with these streets. Alright, I'm going back to the lot. And spin the wheels. Please. I'm still don't have check engine light, and our reading is normal. So let's shut off. Start it. No check engine light. no fault codes. I'm going to give the car back to the owner and tell him to drive it before you sell it, because right now I cannot fix what is not broken. I know it was the mill was requested for that code, but sensor is working fine. So hopefully this video have some information for you guys that are trying to figure out what's the problem. And remember that sensor reading has to be, it does not have to be less than 7 and does not have to go over 17 when the key on, not the car running, or you're stepping on the gas, because when you step on the gas, of course it's going to go over those values. If it is, make sure that if you change your radiator, make sure that that little place where the sensor sits in, make sure that little hole is through. If you're going to drill it, make sure you use a vacuum along the process of drilling. You don't want any particles going to the intake system. It's better if you disconnect it actually and you do it on the bench. Make sure to blow air after you finish the drilling. And that's pretty much it. And those 3 wires, one is 5 volt, one is ground, and the other one is a signal. Signal is translated to voltage. And if you're checking, you have to go to the sensor. You check 2 things, the 5 volt and the ground. And if you have those, that means the engine control module is good. It is providing those 2 elements for the sensor to work. Now we have to check 2 more things: the signal at the sensor and the signal at the computer. If the signal at the sensor is not coming out, it's not changing with the when you hit the gas, that means the sensor is bad. If it is coming out, you have to check it at the computer, the pin at the computer, and you see if you get in the same values over there. If you don't have it at the computer, that means you have a cut in the wire somewhere. And remember that the connector, let's see if I can show you guys the location of it. I don't think I did. It is located right here behind this wire. When it goes up, right behind this, it's between the bumper and the bumper reinforcement. And what else? Yeah, you check at the computer, make sure the signal is getting there. If it's not, that means there is a cut in the wire, or that X104 is disconnected. Again, hopefully this video will be useful for somebody. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next video.